Well, greetings. Hello from College 4.0, Social Media Management. Welcome to our Social Media for Business Informational. We hope to provide you with a simple understanding of some of the most commonly asked questions about social media and business. My name is Bill, and I'll be your host for this informational. I'm a social media consultant at College 4.0, which is a marketing and social media management group comprised of basically college students and grads that have a passion for the digital industry. And I know I've been in the web design and marketing field since 2001. We just converted over full time in 2010 to social media marketing and management. But what I'm going to do today is cover some commonly asked questions about social media and business. I get these quite a lot, and I think that it's best to start here so you can get an understanding of even if you should be using social media marketing in your business practices. So, what is social media? What is social media marketing? Can social media make your business money? What else can it be used for? What are the real costs of social media? How does social media compare to other traditional advertising mediums? How do I get started using social media for my business? Should I create an in-house social media team? And if social media is so wonderful, why isn't every business rich yet? And then we're going to conclude with a few bonuses for you sticking around here. We've got something special that will help you on your way soon as you leave, and also a special offer, so stick around for some of that. Jumping right along, what is social media and what is social media marketing? Well, media are images and sounds like flyers, photos, and video. Social media is the media that's communicated through social mediums and platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Traditional media use TV and radio mediums to communicate messages. Traditional media typically allows for only one-way communication, whereas now social media can allow for two-way communication. It basically means now that when you send out a message to, hey, we have a sale for our product going on, the customers can actually say, oh, we like that, and you actually can know that they've said that. So this two-way communication is essentially called a conversation, and this is the start of what builds a relationship. This is how you build those relationships, by starting that conversation. What is social media marketing? Well, social media marketing is the use of social media platforms to communicate business messages in order to entice business. For example, a video can be marketed in traditional manner like through a TV commercial, or it can be marketed in a social manner like through YouTube. Either way, the video is still the same video, it just depends on which way you choose to market it. In both cases, your message is communicated to thousands of people. However, you will spend a lot less in resources to market your business socially as opposed to traditional advertising. Can social media make your business money? Oh, it's a simple one. As yes, we've seen it time and time again. And in fact, you can't turn on the TV or radio and not hear or see a Facebook, Twitter tag or logo or something that says, hey, follow us. We're tweeting every day. So yeah, it definitely can. I mean, everybody's not jumping on this bandwagon just because it's going down, it's sinking. Social media is all about relationship building. I mean, the whole point is that you as a business want to build as many relationships as possible so that whenever people do get money and they are in need of your service, you're their best friend waiting on their phone call to help. It's really that simple. Now imagine if you have 100,000 positive relationships. Someone will always have money and be needing your service. So this continued need sustains and grows your business. And that's why it's so popular to grow a network of hundreds and thousands of likes. Because once you have those relationships, you can just continually market to those and talk to those people every day. And you won't have to spend as much money on TV or radio and other types of advertising forms. So what else can it be used for? Well, social media marketing can be used to reduce expenses, and I'll talk a little bit briefly on that later. It also can be used to enhance brand awareness and increase research and development time. Now, a lot of this is usually used for the corporate experience. Small businesses can use this to reduce their expenses as well, and it's really great in that area. But enhancing brand awareness is something that typically corporate companies, they like to get involved with, because it's very, very easy. Although it's time consuming, it's very easy to get a solid brand out there once you get it started and once you get it going. And then increase research and development time. you can figure out what your clients, what your potential customer base wants, and immediately be able to create products right then and there, and be able to get it out to them in a matter of days, and instead of having to put out a TV commercial and wait months if you do get any type of response back from them to know what types of products to create. So now you can go on there and whatever, if you're a florist, you can create a product that says, hey, we got these new blue roses that just came out. Test them out, see what do you think about it. And if your customers go on Facebook and say, hey, we like that, that's a cool idea, I wish I could have something like that, then you know that you need to create some blue roses, and bada boom bada bing, anybody that wants to some blue roses, you go back to that network and let them know that you got what they need, and they're your best friend and then they become a customer. So social media marketing does make money, but it can also be used for other things, to enhance your customer service and a lot of other things. What are the real costs of social media? Now, this is a question I get, and you really have to take all things into consideration. Most of going online on Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, things of that nature, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free to get online, but social media marketing isn't free. That most of it stems from labor costs. However, if you want tracking and measurement tools, sometimes that costs. If you want to do videos and create crazy cat videos that go viral, that costs. It takes time, and that time costs money. So it really kind of depends on which class your business in to really get an understanding for how much that's going to cost. So I broke it down, and basically there's 3 different categories of business. There's the E class, the small business class, and the corp class. Now, depending on which group that you're in, it really kind of determines what level of participation and success you're going to be able to get out of this. The social media marketing costs for the E-class are small. An individual can get online for free and register for all the major social networks at no cost. And unless you want to get into paid ads, then an entrepreneur, you really only have to worry about the time labor costs. It takes a small amount of time to physically get on the internet and start posting away, but it takes far more considerable amount of time doing the research on your business than the competition, and not to mention talking and engaging in conversations and responding to comments, posts, and emails, and we haven't even touched on how long it takes to learn and keep up with the constantly changing platforms. Now, small business class is pretty similar in that the only real expense is labor hours. However, at this level, a small business should be utilizing tracking tools, which, like I said before, can cost. Corporate is different and requires far, far more work. Corporate structures typically have lots of employees, which all need department-specific social media training. And as such, a social media policy for your employees must be created. Then the marketing materials must go through legal, which takes time. Social media marketing really shines in corporate business, though, because it touches every area and maximizes your business. Customer service, product development, sales, it really branding, it really helps touch all areas. And you kind of gear that toward, your business goals. But you have to have specific training in those areas to know what it is you're going for. It's great to have 1 or 2 people working to build your business. But when you have 50 properly trained employees at your disposal, the results can be phenomenal. Yet even still, the majority of the cost will be to pay someone to manage the company's presence every day. In all cases, the exposure comes in the form of labor costs. Entrepreneurs can utilize the web, the internet, basically for free. It doesn't really cost a whole lot to get on the internet, just your dial-up cable or whatever you're using to get online. But really, you can go on the internet at the library and do a lot of the stuff for free if you really just strapped for cash. It doesn't mean you have to stay strapped for cash forever. So entrepreneurs can utilize the web for free training in social media. It may take a few weeks to learn a new platform, but all platforms are in a constant state of change, so you must carve out learning time. Unfortunately, most entrepreneurs have all the time in the world, but they forget to actually carve out a set schedule for everyday learning and actually getting on and posting and doing things with this side of their business. Small businesses have a real challenge. Most small businesses think that they can get one of their employees to take on this task. The problem, which is the same for the corporate class, is that your current employees, they just don't have the education that they need to run your social media presence on a business level. Anyone can get online, but knowing how to use Facebook to turn a conversation into a sale is on a completely different level. We're talking checkers and chess here. fact is, it doesn't matter if you're the marketing director of a major corp. Unless you have either taken a year or two to just study the different platforms, then you don't have the right combination of skills needed to maneuver the social space properly. You can't get a degree from an accredited university in social media, which means your current marketing degrees are pretty irrelevant. Now, the cost, what we've seen, kind of range. The cost for a social media management group can range anywhere from $200 to $6,000 a month. So you can kind of see where, as the entrepreneur class, the time and labor, which really is their only expense, but learning takes time. Now, the same thing for the small business class, time and labor expenses there. However, as a small business owner, you really do not have time to sit down and learn all the different platforms. Even if you just wanted to do Facebook and Twitter, that takes some time to learn, not the platforms and how to post on them themselves. You can go on and learn how to do that in a day or two. However, to learn actually what needs to be posted on a daily basis, what time to post them, how often to post, what's too many posts. I mean, I've seen people posting 9 or 10 times a day on the same comment, and they're trying to sell, widgets, and that's improper. I mean, we're here to build relationships, and that will turn into money. And then the other side of the problem of the business class is that if you don't have the time, the people who do have the time don't have the time, or they don't have the money. It's one of the other combinations. So those people who don't have the time to sit there and do it themselves usually can afford to pay for somebody else to come in and manage their group. But the small business class isn't, in today's day and age, isn't really that privy to that. And the corporate class is kind of the same, where they have time and labor issues also. But the big difference about them not having time is that the shrinking budgets, most corporate corps have budgets, but they are shrinking. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but TV and radio and billboard and the other forms of marketing are actually increasing their expenses. So it's difficult to, how do you save money and increase sales at the same time, when the one way that you increase sales is through your advertising and whatnot, but you have to spend more money to do it. So that's why a lot of people actually are turning to social media, especially the corporate class. So moving right along, I've seen these costs, like I mentioned before, the time and labor cost is pretty much free for entrepreneurs. The E-class, the small business, can run anywhere from $200 to $3,200 a month, and that really depends on the type of service that it needs from a social media management group. So let's say, for instance, you are a small mom and pop shop, and what you do is a lawn care service. Now, you may not even have a physical location, but you might be a little bit, you have trucks and whatnot. So in order to grow your presence, it may cost you a couple hundred, you may need somebody to go on there and post on your presence, your internet presence, every day on a regular basis, and maybe even create a couple of videos of you guys doing jobs, something funny so it'll get people engaged, and then do some profiles of some people. That may cost $2 or $3 grand every month, but in return, you'll be getting back the relationships, which will be turning into more sales and more lawns that'll be cut. The corporate class is pretty much the same, but it's a little bit different. I found those ranging anywhere from $32,000 to $6,000 a month, and that's typically because corporates they need to be trained in a different way. So, say for instance, I was to actually go in and sit down with an entrepreneur one-on-one. Well, I could sit with you and teach you a lot of things within an hour or two, and you know the basics of how to use Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and things of that nature. Now, a small business class will take a little bit more time because they have different departments. But the corporate class is different because they have structures in their social media. The way that you do business in that department is completely different. The training has to be different. So if I'm in a sales, I'm on the sales and marketing team, and then I'm on the customer service and team, and I'm on a research and development team. Well, you have to be trained differently in each of those areas. How to use the social media platforms to communicate a good message, to communicate a positive brand, so that you don't ruin the reputation of the company and things of that nature. So since we're on this topic, how does social media marketing compare to other advertising mediums? Well, a social media management group, in my opinion, it outperforms the rest. Using the general population of 200,000 people, we're just going to use that number because that's where these rates are coming from. I've called around to some different locations and found out what they charge, and for the different packages and whatnot. This is just general information. Don't quote me specific on this. I know I'm gonna have some media people on here today. So what we pretty much found is, in order to generate an ad, a television ad, radio ads, billboards, and then the social media management group, these are the basic rates. And what you're getting for that is, for TV ads, you're spending about $1,500 a month to air 20 to 30-second slots, which is about 10 days of advertising at $150 a day. Now that 10 days is basically you airing 2 slots a day. So that covers the 10 days at $150, $1,500 a month. Basic math. Radio is about similar, but it's less. It costs you about $750 to air about 15 30-second slots, which is general somewhere around 10 days at $75 a day. Billboard advertising is a little unique, in which it stands up there 24 hours a day. With that message, it's going to be right there no matter who comes by. If it's 200 people or 200,000 people or 2 billion people pass by, they're going to see that billboard. The only problem with billboards is that it's difficult to change a message and you still can't get a response from the people. So remember that although it's up there 24 hours a day, you can't get a response from your following or from the people that are driving by. And typically they don't have time to write down your information, and there's 20, 30, there's other billboards surrounding your billboard, so they might not get your message. But they have a tendency to work pretty well. And I've noticed that they are making digital billboards that are able to rotate a message, a different billboard, every 30 seconds or so. I think that's awesome. However, it still lacks the ability to communicate with your audience, but it's still great for branding. And then we have the social media management group, which can be, it looks expensive on this end. About $3,000 a month is a middle range, and that's for 24-hour communication. Now, 24-hour communication means that it doesn't matter what time of day, what time zone somebody is in. You don't necessarily need to have just a local following. You can actually have a national following and grow and get clients on a national scale on that, through utilizing the social media management group. And that's 30 days. It's kind of hard to beat that at $100 a day. You're getting a full team to be able to communicate your message 24 hours a day. So what we want to do is we want to actually compare these at the same exposure, the same everyday exposure for 30 days. So to equal everyday exposure costs, let's take TV, radio, billboards, and the social media management group and see how they kind of stack up 30 days total. So TV, we have 30 days at $150 per day is actually $4,500 a month. And for radio, at 30 days, which is actually supposed to be $75 a day times 30 days is $22.50 a month. And then billboard advertising for 30 days at $84 a month is right around $2,500 a month. And then the social media management group for 30 days is about $100 a day. So you multiply that, and that's about $3,000 a month. So now we're looking at the numbers comparably. We are now all on the same 30-day scale, apples to apples. So now, if you're looking for that, we're not apples to apples on the exposure, because in TV you're really getting less than 20 minutes of total advertising. That means those 10, 20, 30 second slots that actually totals up to 20 minutes. And then the same thing for the radio. It's really only less than 20 minutes of total advertising. And then the billboard is up there, but it has no real ability to change and communicate your message. And then you have the social media management group, which you can manage your networks pretty much as much as you want in an unlimited number of ways. Now, so you tell me which one is better. Is it better to send out a 30-second ad out to 200,000 people and spend $4,500 a month to do it? To send out a 30-second radio ad out to 200,000 people and spend $22.50 a month to do it? Spend $2,500 a month to leave an ad out where 200,000 people can see it? Or to communicate, talk, engage, and converse with 200,000 people for $3,000 a month? Well, I mean, you pretty much can. I think that pretty much sums it up itself. There's more to building a relationship, more value in that than actually just shooting a message out there. And here's the kicker: once the relationships are built, you can reduce your ad spending. And just so you understand what that means, look at your TV. It says TV, you're spending $4,500 a month for 30 days of total advertising. Now, once there's only 200,000 people here, so once you started to build up maybe 100,000, likes and followers, you really don't need to spend $4,500 a month on TV anymore. You can really reduce your costs, and now you can, increase your costs, your spending in a different area, or put it back into business. Either way, once those relationships are built, you can reduce your ad spending. And the same thing also follows with the social media management group. You're probably not going to be spending $3,000 a month forever. At some point in time, you're going to achieve a certain amount of likes that you're going to be happy with. If that's 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, really just depends on you. But once those relationships are built, you can, like I said, reduce your ad spending. How do I get started using social media for my business? Well, depending on the class that you're in, if you're an entrepreneur, I suggest actually going to Bing.com and YouTube.com. You'll be able to find a lot of free information. Just type in their search fields, marketing, Facebook, and you'll be able to find a plethora of information about it. Same thing with YouTube. You can go on there and find videos where people have posted other webinars like the one that you're on today, and other valuable information that you can, use for free. For the small business class, I suggest contacting the social media management group and get a free consultation. Well, I say get a consultation, but I know we do free consultations. There are many other social media management groups across the United States. We are local to the Saginaw, Michigan area. We're not exactly sure where you may be calling from or where you may be attending this webinar from. However, we suggest that you get a consultation and an audit and see exactly where you are, where you stand right now. They'll be able to at least point you in the right direction and pinpoint some areas, what can be done, and at least show you what you can do with social media and how it can impact your business. Same thing for the corporate class. The corporate class, really, I suggest not wasting much time trying to do this on your own. Even if you already have somebody, find you 2 or 3 groups and get a consultation from them and see what they say and see if it lines up together. It's really not that difficult to do, and most of them are just basic questions that you have to find and do some research online. So it's really easy to do for a social media management group. So don't feel bad, don't think it's a lot of work on our part, and I don't think it really, even if it does, you go with a group that costs some money, it probably could be more than a couple $100s to do that, because they gain a long-term customer anyway. Now, I know that some of the corporate class may be a little apprehensive about trying to do business with a social media management group out of the area. And let me you may have looked around, maybe posted. I've seen a lot of people post on Career Builder looking for social media managers to join their team, and they want them to be local, them to relocate. Well, with the technology and the way that things have gone, actually it's good to have a combination, but you can actually have a social media management group that's out of the area. See, like for instance, College 4.0, we have students in different cities and different states, in different universities across the United States. So by contacting us, you may deal with somebody that's actually right there local. And if not, if you're actually out of the state, we will come to your business and do a consultation for you and work with you kind of on that end to see what can be done. So it's not impossible to have that done. And like I said, corporate class, you really need to have someone that's there that's going to be able to train you on what to do and train your group to be there with you. One person just isn't going to be able to get it. The small business class will be able to get by with having a 1 or 2 people, because they won't be doing as much work. But like I said before, you still want to contact a group just to at least figure out where you stand right now, because if you don't understand where you are, you're going to be spinning your wheels. In fact, if you've been at social media for a year and you have less than 5,000 likes, then you need to get some professional help, simply put. Now, the thought has been, should I create an in-house social media team? Well, I'm going to say that in some cases I've seen it work. However, on the general scale, I would suggest not trying to go that route. And for the following reasons. One, it will cost you more money to take away individuals in your current organization. So if you already have employees that are there employed doing something, it's just going to cost you more money to get them to do something else, or cost them more time where they could be doing their their specific job, their purpose in the organization. Another thing is your current staff isn't qualified, and to get them there will be costly. Meaning, yeah, they may be able to create you a Facebook and a Twitter account and make a few posts, upload a few videos, but if they're not qualified in sales and marketing and things of that nature, they're really not qualified to be able to market your business in the social space. And to get them the training that would need to, that they would need to get there, it really would be costly. It takes a lot of time to sit there and learn and implement, and then have to, well, I'm not even going to go into it, but it does take time. And it'll take a lot of time to find, buy, and implement a proper social media training program in-house too. It's much easier when you just work with the professionals that already know what they're doing. If you're gonna go ahead and get a Cadillac, go to the Cadillac dealership and get a Cadillac. It's pretty, same thing with a Rolex. If you're gonna go and buy a Rolex, don't get one off the street or out the corner, out the store around the corner. You go to where the Rolexes are, because it's just, you don't want to waste your time and waste your money. So continuing on, time is money. Don't waste both trying to figure out what somebody already else has. Okay. Now, I think my father actually asked me this one day. So shout out to Dad. If social media is so wonderful, why isn't every business rich yet? And this one actually, blew my mind for a minute. I actually had to sit back and think, because social media marketing is only, it's still a baby. It's only a couple of years old. And although there are a lot of rules, general practices, nothing is really set in stone just as of yet. So there are a lot of different things that we can do and expand upon it. But one thing that I have found to be true, that it doesn't matter if you're perfect at it, if you know what you're doing or not, as long as you are consistent, every day you're on there trying to make an effort, it'll work. And that's what I see happening in life in a lot of different other areas. When it comes to marketing and advertising, you can't just throw one TV ad up there for 30 seconds and hope that 1 million people are going to come in your store. You have to do it on a regular basis. Same thing with radio. Same thing with with billboards and other forms of marketing, street advertising as well. Social media marketing doesn't work if you don't work it every day. I mean, just picture this. Imagine you having a storefront on the corner of nowhere. It's just on the corner of nowhere. And because you don't think it's not a prime location, you may have the doors open, but you're in the back somewhere taking a nap. So a customer comes in and they have a question. They ring the bell, say, hey, what's going on? But nobody responds. So they leave. Now, typically that customer, if they're driving by, they may come back by again. But that's not the way it works online. Online, when you have a Facebook, nobody knows you're there until you make yourself known. So you will literally have built a building for people to come, and 1 or 2 people may come on there and say, hey, what's going on? But if you don't respond, no more people they're not going to come back. And then in order to get them to come back, you have to be able to every time that they do show up, be there. It's no different from being a traditional storefront, a brick and mortar. This is, everyday work. It does take time. It does take consistency. Just like you need the doors of your organization, your business to be open, you have to have the doors of your social media marketing channels open every day. Now, a social media management group allows for your business to build those relationships and transition them into sales on a regular basis. So take this very, very poorly graphically designed example right here. But look at kind of how it is formed here. This is your business here, and you communicate whatever message that you want your business, to go in, where you're headed, what new products and services that you have, anything that you're doing in the community. You communicate that message to the social media marketing group. And so right now, you can just go back to doing what you're doing, go back to practicing your business. You don't have to do anything else. You just need to communicate a message to your social media management group. They will then turn that social media message into different forms of media, such as YouTube videos, such as PDF ebooks and things of that nature, polls, all kind of contests, even games, mobile apps. They'll turn that right in their own, the social media management group will do that, and then they will communicate that message to all the networks like Yahoo, Facebook, Google, Dig, Vimeo, Twitter, LinkedIn, and they'll continuously do that. It's constant relationship building, converting friends into customers every day, 24 hours out of the day. While you're just running your business, you don't have to worry about what content goes into it. Now, you do have to have some participation because this is a relationship building thing. Your social media group management group won't be able to think for you. They will be able to do a lot of the work for you and do a lot of the thinking for you, but not 100%. We can't know what your business is until you tell us. So a group won't be able to just say, okay, you have a flower shop, so we automatically are going to populate this with everything that you need for here on out, and it's going to make you $1 million, get you 1 million likes. Doesn't work that way. We still need to know you as an individual business owner, what's your goals, your business objectives, because it's not always about money. A lot of times it's about branding, about building relationships with customers, about improving customer service, about creating new products and new services. You may want to transition into a different area of your business, or see if this is your business should just stop altogether and you should go into a different area. I mean, realistically here, you really have to get into that mindset because that's what you can do with this, and that's the power of it. So like I said before, consistency is key. If you can afford to hire a social media management group, by all means do it. Get you 2 or 3 different referrals if you can from different groups. I know here we're actually local, like I said, to Saginaw, Michigan. There's a group called Next Media 360. They do social media management. Let's see, I'm trying to think of another one. Bob Johnson runs a group also. Oh my God, onewordmarketing.com. There we go, onewordmarketing.com. And they do pretty good, decent work over there also. But look around, you'd be surprised what you find, and then just call them up. Social media managers, we are very social. We like to talk even when we don't know what we're talking about, but most of the time we do. We love to talk to people and especially help people out who really don't understand simple concepts to us, but it may seem complicated to you. But that's the way the technology has been going. So thank you for attending this webinar thus far. I know I've been kind of rambling on a little bit here, but I've got a few free business giveaways for you. Just go to our website, www.college4.0.info, and you'll be able to get these free ebooks, and they are awesome. We have kind of scoured the web and created a library of different tools and different information, and these are 3 of the best of what I consider for the do-it-yourselfer, the person who really just wants some more information, needs somewhere to go and get started, something to digest. You can take it for what it's worth. Once you've read through them, you kind of see that the same principles apply, and that's what you really want to understand, that it's not difficult to do once you understand how to do it. However, doing it on a regular basis is what you're paying a social media management group to do, so that you don't have to, and you can focus on doing the things that you need to do. So unlimited social traffic, proven ways to generate free traffic using high traffic social media sites. Awesome read. Social media traffic avalanche. Get unlimited traffic from social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And then maximum impact social media tactics. This is 77 social media tactics for any business in 2013. You can literally take one of these tactics and work it a day or a week or a whole month, and the results that you'll find, I've seen these different tactics worked and utilized in different organizations, and the results are just phenomenal. So this is one of the favorites of mine. So go ahead and check that out. Now, we have a special webinar offer. There is a problem that we've kind of come across, and it was the reason that we kind of put this webinar together. We found that a lot of small business owners, well, I guess they couldn't afford the real services of a full blown out social media management group. However, they still wanted to be able to take advantage and be able to utilize having a group or some talented individuals to be able to grow their network and potentially grow their business so that they can afford that. We all know that times are tight, and what we do know is that college students typically are a little broker. That's not even a word, but we are used to not spending a whole lot, so we understand what it means to not have a whole lot of money but need to get a whole lot done. So what we've done is we've done a survey of quite a few small businesses, and we've asked them general questions about what it is they liked about social media, what they needed as far as practices, what type of tools they needed. Did they need monitoring help? Did they need training and things of that nature? And what we got back was quite interesting. We know we have to put some educational programs together, but one of the biggest things, I guess, the issues that we've kind of find, your biggest challenge is using social media to grow your business is, that finding engaging content to post every day and then posting it every day. So if you don't have time to figure out what you should post every day or have the time to post it, we can help. We've created a social media posting service that pretty much is the solution for that for small businesses. It allows you the flexibility of getting your feet wet with a social media management group, but not having the expense, and you don't have to worry about doing all of the crazy cat videos and things of that nature. This is kind of the basics of what you need to get going. So this takes care of you not, I've seen a lot of companies where they make one post because it's a holiday, maybe it's the 4th of July or it's Christmas or Easter, and they'll post 2 or 3 times that month. And then you won't see them post anything for another 3 or 4 months or the next month. That's crazy. People are coming there. They're already on Facebook. And I don't know if you realize that, but all of your audience, most of them are already on Facebook. I won't say all of them. Most of them are already on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. There's a reason that's the foundation for. So it's a matter of you joining into this party and now you becoming a part of the conversation. But just to come 1 or 2 times and then leave, you're not really going to build any relationships. You have to be in this conversation, in this party. Got to get in there. So what a social media and posting service kind of consists of is the creation of individual posting schedule for information and marketing posts. That's like questions and comment posts that have to go out every day to build the relationships of your customers. It helps you build likes. The creation and enhancement of Facebook business page, as well as the creation and enhancement of your Twitter business account. So if you already have a Facebook or Twitter, we will go ahead and enhance that. Do the necessary. We're going to do an audit first, but then we'll do the necessary work to enhance that so that it's more likable and more attractive. Then we will also make 1 to 3 daily posts to your Facebook and Twitter accounts every day, which also includes the creation of personal social media participation schedule, which means that's you participating, your company information, your photos, your whatever information you want to go in there. We'll set you up a schedule so that you know what's going on. You can actually participate and feel like you don't have to be there 100% of the time, because we'll be there, but you'll still be a part of the party and you'll be leading the party, because we're just informing the rest of the world exactly what you want them to know. That's pretty much it. We're trying to get to know you so that we can let everybody else know. And that also involves the creation of trackable links so that we know where all of this information is going, who's clicking on what, why they're doing it, how long they're doing it for. It also includes the scheduling of informational and marketing posts provided for you and by you. And everything includes monitoring and monthly reporting. I would suggest that you wouldn't work with somebody that didn't do monitoring and monthly reporting, at least maybe weekly reporting, because you have to know why you're spending your money. If you don't know what it's going for, this isn't something that you're in it just to get known, as far as to throw your name out there. I mean, there are times where maybe a personality or a speaker of some sort may just want the publicity to get known. It really works for nonprofit organizations, for community events. Like if you're throwing a fun festival for the youth, it's a really great idea to use social media marketing, to promote that event, because you'll be able to get a lot of the audience that you just can't hit because you don't have the money for the TV or the radio, and you don't have the flyers to put out like that. So but everybody's already playing games and doing things on Facebook, so you just need to figure out where they are and just get them to like you. And it's really not that not that complicated. I mean, people are a lot more friendly on Facebook than they are in the real world. I hate to say that, but that's really the truth. So they're it's kind of a new day and age anyway. So but we have a special offer for you attending this webinar. We have that special social media posting service, which benefits you in so many different ways. I mean, you get to know which links got clicked on and how many times. There are no more posting breaks, meaning that I didn't have time to post today. You'll never have to worry about that again. It's an easy overview of what posts are still going out. You know exactly when and what you need to do and to use social media marketing successfully, which gives you a peace of mind, and it's a great time saver. I mean, consistently posting in the social networks will raise the engagement of your friends, followers, and fans, and consistently posting in social networks will get you more followers, friends, and networkers. Consistent posting in general just gets your name out. So we created that social media posting service. Actually, it's been a couple of months running. It involves the daily content posting to Facebook and Twitter, like I mentioned, the monthly content library creation, which is new, and important event contact through email and phone, and that's for $4.97 a month. Now, when we did the audit, we actually based that off around what business owners figured was affordable. They figured 3 or 4 hours a day of hiring somebody at minimum wage would be sufficient, and that actually doesn't come out to quite that. That's actually less than minimum wage what would be necessary. But because you attended this webinar, we've got a super promotion that we've been running, a double your money back guarantee. That means that we are so confident in our services that we will add 1,000 friends and followers in the first month of service, or we will pay you back twice your enrollment. So if that just didn't just blow your mind right there, I don't know really what will. But if this still didn't blow your mind, because I know that times are tight, and we're really just trying to get the word out there and show people what can be done so that you can get an opportunity, we've reduced the enrollment. If you enroll in on this webinar presentation, you can enroll for the next 6 months for only $200 a month. And that's outrageous. For only $200, instead of the $479 a month, it'll be only $200 a month. That's a huge savings. And you can take advantage of that by going on our website and clicking on the tab on our we have a tab, social media posting service, on there. Take advantage of that, definitely. You'll find a lot more information about the social media posting service on there. And so just make sure you read over it and kind of see if it really fits for your business. I think it'll be a great fit for your business. And then give us a call and let us know that you attended the webinar, and you'll be able to receive the benefits that we just talked about. On our website, you'll notice that it is the $479, so people that go there just don't have a clue. So let us know that you were actually attended the webinar so that we can give you those benefits. And then don't forget to stop over in our archives and articles and pick up those free ebooks and whatnot. So thank you for your valued time. I hope that at the end of the day that you remember kind of what we talked about and some things. But if there's anything to take away from this, remember that social media marketing is all about building relationships. And in order to do that, you need to be consistent. So once again, thank you for your valued time. Have a good evening.